Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 3 of the 4th edition of the Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament hosted here at St. David's, Maristine. And we've got the first quarterfinal about to kick off, and there it is for the playoffs, or the quarterfinals rather, the clash here between the SACS Old Boys and the White Caps, one of the tournament favourites, locking horns with the Elevate Under-16s. Here's Matthew Stopforth on the ball. A big task up ahead here for the Under-16s. Massive physical clash they're going to be experiencing. The SACS men so well drilled and ready to go through the motions, a wealth of experience, and opening goal comes early from Cameron Sugden on the right hand side, bounces into the near side, beats Izaru on his near corner. The Under-16s really going to have to put in a shift today if they want to keep themselves in this game. And polished unit of a machine here in the SACS Old Boys side. Nick Molyneux, a wealth of experience. Devon Card, one of the most internationally represented centre forwards from our country, is here pressurizing number 10, Noah Ryback. Got Niall Wheeler as well as Speedster on the ball. That's a quick shot off the perimeter coming from the number 11, Adam Brown. That fires over Lwazi Mari's frame. Lwazi Mari, of course, having captained South Africa to the Olympics, I believe in 2020. And here's Joshua Faber, also in and amongst the Springboks of this side. Lofted ball here to Devon Card, and Devon Card's found the frame of the cage, and Izaru doesn't have to pick that out of the back of the net. Unfortunately, Caleb Levy on hand to keep that ball away from the advancing Niall Wheeler. And now Roo looks up the pool for a fetch onto the right-hand side with Ryback. Here's Brown. Big drive coming through the centre. Ryback on the ball again. Very physical press coming in here from the SACS men. Ryback gives that onto the right-hand side of Swart. Swart can shoot. And that's bounced over the cross cage there. Lwazi Mari looked like he had it, but a bounce shot can go anywhere. And here's Nick Molyneux fetching on the right-hand side. A quick pass onto the left-hand side with Joshua, the lightsaber Faber, and he's put that into the frame of the cage too. A big save coming from Izaru. Perhaps an early shot there coming from Faber, identifying the space, and here's a clearance drive coming down from Niall Wheeler. Stopforth to Faber and Molyneux. Big drop down on Card here. Looks like a double, an M zone rather, and Faber this time makes no mistakes and bounces into the top left-hand corner. The SACS men with their second of the game. An early lead here for the SACS men, establishing themselves as favourites quite early on, as we've come to expect from this Cape side. Now another SA Olympian in at centre back here. Cameron Lawrenson, who's also coaching the Marties ladies this weekend. So he's missed quite a few of the pool stage clashes as he's had to coach his charges. And into the right-hand side also is Nicholas Fall and Nicholas Tinkler. Quite a few Nicks in this team. Nick Downs, Nick Tinkler, Nick Fall. And snatched off on the perimeter here. Devon Card showing us he's got speed too. And he storms up to the left-hand side. He's going to go on a one-on-one here with Izaru. And you can put the house on it that Devon Card's going to put that in the back of the net, and that he does. The captain on the score sheet now. 3-0. 5 minutes and 49 left to the first shaka here. High-octane start from the SACS Old Boys. And now another big centre forward in the water. Nicholas Downs makes his entrance. And Adam Turk enters too on the left-hand side. Andrew Ush, the Saints boy, on the ball. And so the left-hand side with Adam Brown. Brown earns the ordinary, rather. The ref's hand is raised on the far side, so he can play himself and have a rip here. Can Brown. That's played to the right-hand side, rather, with Ryback. Ryback looking to work here to try and get some water. He's earned the ordinary. He is inside 6. So he can only play himself and move out and then have a shot. Trying to connect the dots there with Daniel Nothard, but no dice. That ball's made it to the top left. Blake Morton's fired, but Lwazi Mari 2 hands on it, and safe hands from him. Brings it easily under his control to launch the counter-attack. And here's Niall Wheeler. Downs clears off to the second post. Turk. Lawrenson. Fall. Lawrenson again. Turk slips into a shooting lane. Lawrenson given time and space here, and he wasn't having to be asked twice there. But he finds the inside of the top left-hand corner. And it comes off of the woodwork, and Ush is there to clean up. And here's a quick ball up the other side of the pool for Ryback. Perhaps a bit too much on that, and skims away from him. Lwazi Madi collects and feeds up to Wheeler. Very handsy foul there from Swart. Wheeler plays that ball. That's beautiful water polo. Great pass from Wheeler onto the hand of Nicholas Tinkler, but he's also found the frame of the cage here. The woodwork coming to the rescue for the Elevate Under-16s. Early in this game, I think we've had 4 shots come off the woodwork already. And here's Adam Brown again. Ryback has the ball snatched out of the air from Wheeler. Wheeler happy to slow things down here, uncharacteristically of him. He's normally running at full sprint at all times. Absolute lightning bolt in the water, in the pool. They say timing beats speed, but if you've got both, you're almost unstoppable. Here's Turk. Turk happy to, in the ordinary, plays himself. Fall onto the left-hand side. Roja Rus fires into the cross cage immediately, and then immediately on the score sheet is the youngster. Yandro Roja Rus, one big balk, brings the keeper and the defense to the near corner and makes it look so easy as he passes it into the cross cage. Lots of cavalry changes here. Lwazi Madi normally on the bench for the Elevate Under-16s, working with John Swanepoel to develop the youth here. But he is the shot stopper for the tournament favourites, and they need to secure themselves their spot in the semi-finals. And Andrew Ush, pressurised by Turk. Ethan Beatty, foul conceded by Tinkler. Ush again. Mansfield. He's fired at the cross cage, and that's bounced over the crossbar. Here's Nicholas Fall fetching on the right-hand side. Turk with a catch and release. Nick Fall turns provider. Great pass onto the hand of Adam Turk, and he finds himself on the score sheet too, with a beautiful finish into the bottom left-hand corner. And the SACS men, with a high-octane start here, 5-0 early on against the Elevate Under-16s. They need to draw some blood here to the Under-16s. And by that I mean get something on the scoreboard. Nothing physical. They need to try and find a kink in the SACS armor. Something no one at this tournament has been able to do just yet. And here's Andrew Ush. Molyneux happy to drop off of him. Encourage the shot. When you got SA's best in the cage, you're happy to let it fly from range. And Ush fires towards the top corner. It comes off the woodwork. I'm not sure how much Lwazi Madi knew about that. And Ush has earned the contra. Molyneux there swimming over his defender. He's not happy about that, says Nick Molyneux. There's another Nick. That ball onto the right-hand side here. Not collected by Mansfield, but he's got time and space here. They're in a 2-on-1 on the right-hand side. He's got a lefty on his right-hand side, and that's the ball on the water. And Rojo Ruiz was happy for that ball to land on the water all day long. And now a long ball up the left-hand side of the pool for Faber. He's pressured by Kate October. Sugden swimming into front water. Faber gets the half turn. It's a lofted pass to the back post. Sugden responds. He's still got it, does Sugden. And that ball's now in the back of the net. 6 goals, 2-0 here. All good signs here for the SACS men. Doom and gloom for the under-16s. Ethan Beatty earns the ordinary on the left-hand side. No centre forward here. He's now rolled in. Here's Harry Ford. And now Ush has turned Molyneux. He's attacking into front water. Sugden slips inside to close the drive. Ethan Beatty fires at the cross cage, but wide of the frame. And Loazi fires straight up the left-hand side of the pool to Rojo Ruiz. Molyneux's facing the other way. They're going to have to move that ball to follow the centre forward. Here's Stopforth. Sugden. Out to Bigara. Stop fourth. Bigara continues his drive down to post. That's a high ball onto his hand, but he skied that. Has Ben Bigara. We're straight up the other side of the pool here. It's Nathan Mansfield. They were looking for him. 2 men on him. Faber and Molyneux. And that ball intercepted, I believe, Izaru. Looking for something special there. But it's going to have to be very special to beat the 2 big men coming back on defense. And stop fourth. Gives that out to Bigara. Stop fourth. Stop fourth. Given time and space here. And he's fired at the cross cage, but a big hand gets in the way from the opposite 12 there, Kate October. .47 seconds left. So the first chucker in the 4th annual Gauteng Invitational Water Polo Tournament in the first quarter-final. The first spot in the semis up for grabs here. Swart. Back to Ush. Back to Swart. Big balk from him. Here's Ush again. And that's dropped into the center. Harry Ford's done well, but Nick Molyneux up to the task, crashes aggressively and earns the ordinary for his side. October wants the ball here on the perimeter. October is fired at the cross cage. It's taken a deflection. Loazi to the near corner. And it's come off the cross cage post. Much to the relief of Loazi Mari. Not that it's going to change too much on the scoreboard. But they do want to get a goal here to the Elevate under 16s. And here's Rojo Rus out to Faber. It's the right-hand side of Bigara. Bigara is fired at the cross cage. And that's wide of the goal. Molyneux's called for the 2-meter and he's gotten it. And Rojo Rus is going to get us going here again. Faber fetches on the half. He's going to shoot from range, but he's not going to make it the whole way through. Andrew Ush in the way. And the first chucker of the first quarterfinal comes to a close with the SACS Old Boys leading the Elevate under 16s, 6 goals to 0. Stay tuned for the next chucker after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here. The second chucker of the first quarterfinal at this year's edition of the Gauteng Invitational Water Polo Tournament. The Elevate under 16s in the blue caps with a mountain to climb here against the SACS Old Boys, one of the tournament favorites. 6 goals to 0 from that first chucker. A goal from Devon Carr, 2 from Cameron Sugden, 1 from Turk, 1 from Faber, and 1 from Rojo Rus. The under 16s yet to find the back of the net. But they're, of course, here for the learning experience, playing against the top caliber clubs in the country, able to absorb as much information as they can. Of course, the biggest element that the under-16s won't be used to here is the bully strength. And here's Niall Wheeler. Lawrenson, fall. Lawrenson again, out to fall. That ball's fumbled and cleaned up by Nothard. As you get older, you get stronger and stronger. These under-16s still well in their youth. Haven't had enough time for the compound interest on that muscle strength to grow and grow. But they're going to learn a lot more about mobility than they are about strength this weekend, and how to beat the power of a grown man. And here's Ryback. That's going to drop down into second center with Blake Morton. I believe he's also a Saints boy. He's earned the ordinary there against Wheeler, but he's inside 6 meters and he's had a shot there from the foul. So that's a turnover. Would have been the same result if he was outside 6, well wide of the cage there. And Wheeler's here on the left-hand side. Lawrenson spotted, giving him a ball a little bit behind him, so Wheeler's gone back to collect. 2 center forwards here. They're happy to set up like this for the SACS old boys. Here's Fall. Lawrenson. And Lawrenson's off the crossbar and in. Great shot from him on the perimeter. And the SACS men have their 7th. And Lawrenson has his first. Morton gets us back underway. Lawrenson calls for the press. Turk occupies center forward, going up against Caleb Levy. It's the left-hand side with Ryback. And it's all hands from Card, and he's picked his pocket. And now the SACS men will go on a 3-on-2 situation here. No doubt they're going to pull the defense apart here. You'll see Devin Card will slide back here into a little triangle formation to at least create a couple more passing lanes, but that ball not going to the hand of Tinkler, allowing the under-16s time to come back and support. And here's Nicholas Fall. Lawrenson. Wheeler slips into the shooting lane. Wheeler over to Turk. Turk with time and space. Slows it down, gives a ball there to Devin Card, who tries something a little cheeky. Not much he can do there with a drop on him in the weak angle, but he does almost get something off there. Taps it up nice and high for him and tries to get the second touch on the ball into the back of the net, but over the crossbar. Not a bad effort. Very creative from Card. And here's Brown. Tinkler concedes the ordinary. Hand is raised by the ref, so he can let one fly here. Caleb Levy into the second center on the left-hand side. Morton earns the ordinary too against his opposite 9. Perhaps lining up a foul and shot here. Is Adam Brown. And he's fired, but it's met the hand of Cameron Lawrenson there, preventing that ball getting through to his shot stopper. Wheeler fetches the ball. Turk's got it again, high up the pool early. He's turned his defender. Only able to earn an ordinary there. Devin Card gets the ball on the right wing. Wheeler wants it on the left. And Card's made no mistake, opens his angle and fires into the top right-hand corner, and Card's on a brace. Joining Cameron Sugden in the 2 goals club. Andrew Ush back in the water now. Out to Ryback. Pressured by his opposite 10, Joshua Faber. Very handsy foul from Faber. Another foul there earned. And out to Ush. He's tried to get the inside water on Molyneux. And here's Ryback going to line up a foul and shot. Another hard foul coming in from Faber. And he's gone for it, but it's right down the center of Lwazi Mari's cage. And Faber's turned and gone. And he's open on the left-hand side. Ben Bagara has spotted Faber. Molyneux is going to clear out there, but Izaru gets a strong hand into the bottom left-hand corner. Faber happy to slow it down here. Spots the left-hander, Cameron Sugden on that side. Faber's going to come up here and open the angle. They're going to set up in a 3-2 here for the 5-on-4. Faber makes no mistake this time and fires over the head of Izaru in the cage. The scoreline now reads 9-0 in the second chucker of the first quarterfinal. SACS men really establishing dominance early. Harry Ford gets us back underway. Here's Andrew Ush. And to the left-hand side with Nathan Mansfield. It's another hard foul coming in from the SACS Old Boys. Yandro Roos this time, and James Swart on the ball. Plays that to Mansfield. Drops that to October. It's another hard foul. Swart can shoot from range. Swart has shot from range. And Lwazi's got two hands to that, but it's landed in front of the dangerous Harry Ford. Lwazi Madi's legs were set quickly and he was able to make the double save there. And here's Rojo Roos carrying up the left-hand side. Molyneux on the right. Stop fourth. Rojo Roos. And here's top fourth again. Rojo Roos has fired and gone over the crossbar this time, skimming the woodwork on the way through. The Elevate under 16s escaping there. And here is James Swart. And shooting so well this weekend has Swart. Ethan Beatty. Out to Swart. Rojo Roos with the foul again. Here's Ush. Sugden tries to work around him. Ush recovers the ball. And here's Mansfield. Mansfield's lined one up and he's trying to go down the center. Lwazi Madi 2 hands behind that again. Very difficult to beat a keeper like Lwazi Madi from that kind of range. Fetching on the right there. It's Ben Bigara, and here's stop fourth now. That's a high pass for Sugden. He's able to clean it up though. Bigara, Sugden, onto the hand of Molyneux. Great defensive pressure coming from Beatty. Molyneux plays that to stop fourth. Stop fourth has had a go and it's come off the inside of the woodwork and gone out. So Izaru gets to resume play here for the under-16s. Andrew Ush up on the left-hand side of the pool. Making his way all the way down to 2 meters. One of the most important rules in water polo is the front three need to get down to 2. You'll see the SACS men do that so well. Cade October earns the ordinary. And here's Ethan Beatty. And James Swart earns the ordinary foul here. Looks like he's going to have a go too. And he's gone for the near corner this time, but off target. Lwazi Madi, his presence in the cage, has a roll before the shots even come. Here's Rojo Roos. And Bigara. And Lawrenson returns to the water here. Cameron Sugden to Cameron Lawrenson. Now Cheddar Ben Bigara. Little short drive here. Lawrenson's going to go for it again, but a big blocking hand gets in the way. James Swart wears a smile on his face after that block. Here's Ush against his opposite 6, Nick Downs. Earns the ordinary. Ush drops that to October. Bigara wanted the cheeky pickpocket. October's bounced to the near side. Lwazi was jumping to the right, but managed to get his hands back over to the left to deny. And Molyneux and Rojo Roos in a 2-on-1 on the left-hand side. That ball's found its way to Molyneux. the SA veteran. And he's going to put that on the hand for Sugden. And Sugden has a hat-trick. Molyneux turns provider. Could very, very well have shot that on his own there, Nicholas Molyneux. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at St. David's Maristinanda here in Santon. If you are in the area, come through. It is a little bit overcast. There's lots of shelter for the supporters. Bring a brolly, bring a jacket. It's a little overcast here. Oh, that's a great ball, looking for the high ball onto the post to try and find Ethan Batey, but not able to connect the dots there. Oh, the under-16s, Lawazi Madi with a textbook long-range pass, and this time Nicholas Molyneux. Cool, calm and collected with a little L1 circle finish over Izaru into the back of the net. And the scoreline now reads 11-0 with 4 seconds left of the first half. Like we were saying, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the area, come through. There's coffee, there's food, there's a beer tent too. There's good vibes and great water polo. So come through and support the current and the next generation of SA water polo. We'll see you again for the second half after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Third chukker here, the first quarterfinal. The SACS Old Boys really having established dominance early. 11-0 here. 6 in the first, 5 in the second. And the third chukker underway. Cameron Sugden, our only hat-trick hero as it stands. Dev Card joins him, and Joshua Faber on a brace. Dev Card and Joshua Faber rather on a brace. Nick Fall here on the ball. High ball over to Niall Wheeler. He's jumped up nice and high together. 5 seconds left. Faber's open in the center. Not who you want to leave there. But he's put that ball wide of the cage. It's Joshua Faber. Change in shot stoppers here for the under-16s. Kian van Sale in. and the number 13 cap for the Elevate under-16s. And here's Caleb Levy. Now to Daniel Northard. Back to Levy. Second centre there working is Blake Morton. But coming across is Josh Faber. And he snatches that ball away from the well-set centre forward. Lawrenson fetches on the left, feeds up to Wheeler. Wheeler drops it quickly into Card. And Card is in the Hat-Trick Heroes Club. So effortless from the SACS Old Boys. Well aware of what they need to do with the ball and how to move a defense to free up their danger man in the centre forward position, Devon Card. 12-0 reads the scoreline here. Bit of a blowout to the first quarter final. Adam Brown pressured by Tinkler. No centre forward here. Daniel Northard happy to drive across, but he swam into Big Red. Difficult task there for any centre forward to work against him. And here's Caleb Levy. Back out to Swart. And Levy again has gone for it, but also wide of the cage. Back in field, so Lawazi Madi has to swim now. Probably the longest swim Lawazi Madi's had to do this weekend. And here's Nicholas Fall. It's Wheeler. Faber wants it on the left-hand side. He's got it. Lofted pass to the back post there for Tinkler. But a turnover there. Not sure if the call was 2 meters or just out of bounds. Either way, the result is the same. The under-16s come up with the ball. Yaqub Fakir throws that ball straight into the hand of Niall Wheeler. He won't make an easier interception all weekend. And Nick Fall lengthens the stroke and attacks down to 2 meters. 3 under-16s on their way back to help. And Nick Fall is able to free up the left arm and fires into the top right-hand corner. And the SACS Old Boys lead 13 goals to 0 here. And that is Nicholas Fall's first goal of the game. Caleb Levy. Northard. No centre forward here. Screening onto a difficult man here is Blake Morton. Swartz had a rocket there at the near corner. It's come off the woodwork. I think Lawazi may have got a fingertip to that. The centre forward there, Blake Morton, looking to create a screen on the perimeter so Adam Brown can drive across, but he screened onto the back of Devon Card. Big ask there for an under-16 to go and wrestle with him. And Devon Card's got 4. Ball on the water, frees the shoulder. Tightens his grip and rifles into the back of the net. 14-0 here in the third chucker. The Elevate under-16s would like to find themselves on the score sheet at least before the end of the game. Let's see if they can generate something here. Andrew Ush in the water now. And here's Swart. Has the ball stolen off of him by Turk. And Swart is sent to the naughty corner. And a power play now for the SACS Old Boys. First exclusion of the game, actually. Here's Stopforth. Happy to play that to 1-2 with Turk. Turk fires into the cross cage. 15 Love reads the score. A tennis score here. Or Love 15 rather, if you're reading left to right on the scoreboard. I suppose if we're being technical, it depends on who's serving. But we're not going to go down that path. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the 4th edition of the Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament, hosted here at St. David's Maristananda. We're in the quarterfinal stages here. Elevate under-16s going up against tournament favourites, the SACS Old Boys. Here's Ryback. He's gone for a back shot and a special! Lawazi Madi can do nothing but smile and laugh. It was going to take something special to beat the SACS Old Boys defense, and they all wear a smile. The familiar face in Ryback playing against some of his coaches and the players who have developed him as a youngster. Applies his trade at Rondebosch, I believe, does Ryback. And Lwazi Mari still smiling about that back shot that went over his head. Nick Downs receives that ball in the second center. Turk tries to fire from the perimeter, but Ryback gets a hand there. Noah Ryback, that is. And the Elevate under 16s are on the board. Here's October against Bigara. Ryback, confidence seems to be streaming through his veins right now. Goes for the half turn on Turk. He's come out of sight of the 6 meters. Yeah, can have another go, can Ryback. He's got the foul. He wouldn't do it again, would he? He's gone for it, but this time the SACS old boys identify the threats and get 3 hands in the way. And a blocking arm there puts that out of bounds. And Molyneux fetches gracefully on the right-hand side. Here's Turk. And Turk's fired at the cross cage. It's come off the woodwork. Nick Downs working fast there to get that ball. Gets a little scoop back shot off there. Not able to beat Kian van Sail though in the cage. Thank you so much for tuning in and following along on YouTube for those at home there. It's Happening Africa. Bringing you statistics, coverage and commentary all weekend long, come rain or shine. We're yet to see the all shine. Oh, another back shot goes quickly there. Harry forward this time. But Lwazi Mari not going to be beaten by the same trick twice. Gets a big hand in the way of that. Yeah, I haven't seen much shine yet this weekend. A little very overcast, very wet. So we apologize for any technical difficulties. I believe we lost a camera yesterday. We have tried to keep everything covered. There's only so much you can do with all the moisture in the air. And that's a ball in there to Nick Downs. And he makes it look so simple, does the big man. And he gets his first of the game in the center forward position. (16-1) reads the scoreline. And Rojo Rus re-enters the frame. And Turk takes a break. Onto the left-hand side here with Ethan Beatty. Looking for a high ball to the center forward there. Easily gathered by Cameron Sugden. Bigara on the right-hand side has got some front water. Rojo Rus is spotted. That's a massive block coming in from Ryback. Read that beautifully. Sets his legs wonderfully and got his hand in the way of that. Would have put your house on it. That was in the back of the net. Here's Stopforth to Sugden. Stopforth again. The ball on the hand there for Molyneux. But wise to the task there is Nathan Mansfield. And here's Ush. SACS men are a man down here. Here's Ush. Molyneux was retreating, albeit slow. Still made the impact there. And Molyneux happy to pull Ryback all the way out. There's a 3-on-2 now up the other side of the pool. Rojo Rus on the left-hand side. Receives that ball and doesn't make the same mistake twice. That one in the back of the net there. Coming up nice and high on his legs. And Molyneux there to provide once again. 17 goals to 1. With 54 seconds left of the third chukker here in the first quarter final of the men's section. Harry Ford gets us back underway. Ethan Beatty earns the ordinary. Plays himself. Out to Ryback. Surely can't do it again. Surely not. Big foul from Rojo Rus again. Ryback. Just wanting to see if there are any options here. Plays himself. Happy to run it back 3 times here. Hand is raised. And he's fired at the cross cage. But a blocking hand gets in the way and it goes out of bounds. And a 2-on-1 here up the other side of the pool. Nick Downs on a break. He's got Begara in support. Downs draws Ush out. And Begara's got time and space. And he makes no mistake and gets his first of the game. 18 goals to 1 with 20 left of the third chukker here. First quarterfinal of the men's section. Our next quarterfinal will be the Rondebosch Meerkats locking on to the Gauteng under-19s. You won't want to miss that one either. After that, UCT playing off against Marties. And the fourth quarterfinal, the OJ Eagles going up against the Marties Victorians. Two Marties sides in the top 8 this year. Ford swims out to fetch. He's touched the ball there and let the play go. And Tinkler's aware of the rules. So he picks that ball up and takes it away. And that's the end of the third chukker, ladies and gentlemen. 18 goals to 1 reads the scoreline. A blowout game here in favor of the SACS Old Boys. We'll see you for the concluding fourth after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The fourth chukker here of the first quarterfinal. The fourth edition of the Gauteng Invitational Water Polo Tournament hosted here at St. David's Maristananda. The SACS Old Boys, one of the tournament favorites, dominating the Elevate under-16s here. 18 goals to 1 in the first three. The solitary goal for the Elevate under-16s, the back shot from Ryback, beating Lwazi Madi. Other than that, the SACS Old Boys establishing their dominance, showing us why they are one of the tournament favorites. James Swart gives that ball to Caleb Levy. And Levy's fired from range, but Lwazi Madi with a strong outstretched arm denies. And here's Niall Wheeler fetching on the right-hand side. He's got front water here as Wheeler. And he's put one big balk, brought the defender across him and fired into the cross cage. And the SACS Old Boys lead now 19 goals to 1 against the Elevate under-16s. Difficult game to watch if you're an under-16, Elevate under-16 fan. We love tightly contested affairs. This one, anything but. At least a learning experience for the next generation of the South African players, the South African youth. Experiencing what South Africa's current cream of the crop is at club level. And here's Daniel Nothard. Out to Caleb Levy. One big walk from him. And here's Swart. He's dropped that into the center. Looking for Adam Brown, but they're beaten by the buzzer there. 30 seconds is up. No shot comes. A turnover in possession. And Devon Card again lengthens his stroke. He's open in the center. Lwazi Madi plays that out to Niall Wheeler on the right-hand side. Onto the hand of Sugden. Sugden drops into Card. Card back out Cheddar Wheeler. That ball's gone back to Lawrenson here. And Lawrenson's fired at the near side. The keeper's gotten a save there. Keon van Sale fortunately lands in front of the danger man, Devon Card, and he tees himself up for his fifth. Some cavalry changes coming in for the SACS Old Boys. 20 goals to 1 here reads the scoreline. Lwazi Madi asking Niall Wheeler where his number 13 cap is, his red one. Lwazi wants to go have a little bit of a swim around. And here's James Swart. Rojo Rus files aggressively. He needs a passing option here to Swart. Ball wants to go left. Adam Brown's working hard in the second center against Turk. He's run out of steam though. And there's a shot coming as the drive goes. And the SACS men are going to counter this aggressively. Nicholas Fall in the front wave. Rojo Rus is spotted. Moving out of the way. Nick Fall wanting to apply a little bit of tech as there. Gets the ball back from the supporting Turk. He's gone for the cross cage, but it's come off the inside of the woodwork. And Daniel Nothard up the left-hand side fetches. Blake Morton works hard in the centre forward position. Adam Brown. It's going to let one fly from Ranger. It's special! Adam Brown with a bounce shot, which defied the laws of physics. Came in low, bounced almost at a 90-degree angle into the underside of the crossbar. And Lwazi Madi shares a smile, acknowledging the brilliance of that attempt from Adam Brown. And the Elevate under-16s have got their second of the game. We said it was going to take something special to beat Lwazi Madi. The 2 goals that have gone in have been truly special. Here's Nicholas Fall. Onto the hand of Rojo Rus. Back to Begara. Draws the defenders, and here's Stopforth, fires at the top right-hand corner. It comes off the woodwork and goes out of bounds. 4 minutes and 40 left to the fourth. Caleb Levy. Nothard. Harry Ford working hard here against Ben Begara. 2-8. To the right with Swart. Back to Levy. And again with Nothard. And the 2-8 here still tussling hard in the second center position. And a shot from downtown there. It's come off Lwazi Madi. Recovered by Harry Ford, and he's turned into dangerous water and won the penalty there. Or an exclusion, rather. And Nicholas Downs is sent to the naughty corner for the first exclusion of the game against the SACS Old Boys. Only the second in total. James Swart, the other perpetrator of this game. Caleb Levy. Swart is fired at the cross cage. Lwazi Madi stretches out a big arm. There's Nothard. Swart. Fakir onto the hand here. Brown's gone for a second. Lwazi Madi read it beautifully. Brown's following up this ball. It's scruffy. And it's gone out of bounds there. And Devon Card straight up the other side of the pool. And he's got a double hat-trick, does Devon Card. The distribution from the SACS old boys, one of their most underrated skills. No matter where you are in the pool, they find the open man, and that ball gets there. And before you've blinked, you're picking that ball up out of the back of the net. 21 goals to 2 here in the first quarterfinal of the 4th Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament, hosted here at St. David's, Marist-Inanda. Statistics, coverage and commentary brought to you by ItsHappening.Africa. Doing our best as we face the elements this weekend. Electricity and water and moisture aren't the best of pals. The referee on the near side really obstructing my view here, but he's got a job to do. And an exclusion earned now. Another power play for the under-16s. Niall Wheeler this time in the sin bin. 20 seconds with an extra man here. Here's Ryback out to Ush. Ush to the left-hand side with Mansfield. Mansfield's gone for the wrap, bounce up, and it's come off the woodwork. And Devon Card in the water. I think he just got out. Happy to jump back in though, Devon Card. A little congestion in the centre here for the old boys. The SACS old boys. Molyneux wants that ball on the left. Faber showing us his Spider-Man-like grip on the ball. Here's Card. Lawrenson's going to let one rip here, but not able to beat the blocking hand of Ethan Beatty. 2 minutes and 15 left of this first quarter. SACS old boys establishing themselves as tournament favourites early on in this tournament, along with the OJ Eagles and the Rondebosch Meerkats. And the Marties men will put their hands up to be in that conversation too, as well as UCT. And that's a shot from range there. Kate October not able to pierce the defense there. Lwazi Mari spots Faber open on the left-hand side, and he's going to take that front water. Tinkler's up in support. It's a 3-on-2, and Faber makes no mistake. Makes it look so easy, does Joshua Faber, and gets his hat-trick. 22 goals to 2 here with 1 minute and 30 seconds left of the 4th. Day 3 of the tournament, the lactic acid starting to creep in to the muscles of all the players. The SACS men, of course, topping their pool, so they played one less game. Wheeler looks for the steal there. Mansfield earns the ordinary. Plays himself, takes a stroke into the front water. And here's Ryback. Perhaps lining up another back shot here. He's got the angle for it. And Ryback's fired there. Lwazi Mari gets 2 hands. The momentum nearly carries it over. But Lwazi so well versed in the goalkeeper role. And here's Niall Wheeler. Faber open on the left-hand side. Beautiful pass. Faber fumbles but makes no mistake. And Faber's on 4. Thank you so much for tuning in to this year's edition of the Gauteng Invitational Water Polo Tournament. We are on day 3 here. An overcast Saturday in Sandton. As we approach the business end, the cream of the crop narrows itself more and more as we move. Mansfield out to Ush. Ush has gone from range there, trying to beat Saints alumni Lwazi Mari. The young Saints boy, Andrew Ush. And now Molyneux is open on the left-hand side, but that ball's only just made it to the halfway for Rojo Ruiz. And Lawrenson, fall, Lawrenson again. Fall one more time. And here's Molyneux. And Molyneux makes it look so effortless, just passes it into the back of the net there. 24 goals to 2 here, 6 seconds left of the fourth. The next quarter final up for you is the Gauteng under-19s, locking horns with the Rondebosch Meerkats, one of the other favorites in this tournament. It looks like the under-19s back to a full complement. We're missing a couple players last night. Still came out on top against the Rams Rebels. But that's all she wrote, folks. The SACS men put on a masterclass and outclassed the under-16s here. The Elevate under-16s, that is 24 goals to 2. A very one-sided affair. A double hat-trick for Devon Card, the captain and the leader of the SACS Old Boys side. Thank you so much for tuning into It's Happening Africa. We'll see you again for the next quarterfinal after this short break. Take care.